why Ernie Hudson, who plays Magic in Quantum Leap 2022, wants Scott Bakula to return for the Quantum Leap reboot. And I know we've spoken about this before, but this is new information. And I'll tell you why it's important to me and to Shane, because we have a theory that we will link at the bottom of this video that paints a beautiful, elaborate picture of how we think this season is going to go, and how we think it's going to end with some kind of Scott Bakula, whether it's the person or whether they find them and it's a tease for next season. I don't know. We believe this wholeheartedly, and so far, the last 2 episodes since our video release have only proved it. Literally word for word, we've had things happen that were word for word what we are predicting. So this news article that came out a day ago was great to hear.
What I really love about this article is that Ernie Hudson calls it a continuation and not a reboot.
What a man.
I'm so tired of seeing Quantum Leap reboot, and it's everywhere. It's like we just can't get it in their head.
I know, it's nonstop. I feel like maybe we need to make a video and just say it's like maybe we need to make a video on our main channel. We know it's going to get a lot of views, and just be like, it's not a reboot.
It's like when Schwarzenegger said, "It's not a tumor."
It's not a tumor. No, because it's not a reboot. It is a straight up continuation. There is no bones about it. This is a continuation of Quantum Leap. If anything, it should be Quantum Leap Season 6. Like, let's be real. All right, So let's cover this, because this is good stuff, man. You wanna go for it?
There's a good point in here. There's a good question that Screen Rant asks: is can Quantum Leap resolve Sam Beckett's story without Scott Bakula? And I would say, in my opinion, that answer is no. They can say, well, this is what happened to Sam, but I think it would be a really huge letdown for everybody who's a Quantum Leap fan. I think Ernie Hudson probably says it best here. He says, I think when you look back, you know intuitively that there are a lot of people you have to thank. There are people who helped you along the way, though you may not remember their names. Your parents tried to help you despite all the damage they caused. But Sam is the one time that he can specifically say, I wouldn't be here had it not been for this man. That's clear. That's unequivocal. To be able to resolve that and not leave him hanging, it's really important to Magic. And so, of course, Ernie Hudson's talking about his character in the show, and he's talking about the character of Dr. Sam Beckett. They don't do a good enough job in the show hammering in Magic's motivation for being in Quantum Leap. I mean, it's mentioned one time, but he's singularly focused on getting Dr. Sam Beckett home.
Right. And yeah, so Magic's his character in the show, Magic, his motivation is to sort of pay back Sam Beckett. He wants to find Sam Beckett and bring him home. He wants to be the guy that saves Sam Beckett, because Sam Beckett saved his life, and now he's trying to return the favor. And that's a beautiful story. And one reason when we did our theory where we said, okay, so Ben's probably not leaping to find Sam, because if he was, he would have had no problem telling the team what needed to happen. Because he knows that his boss, Magic, is singularly focused on finding Sam. So it had to be something else. So we realized that Ben can't be leaving for that purpose, which we found out this last episode was actually the case. It's not because of Sam. He's leaving probably for something else, and we'll get into that later. But I actually love that when they ask him about it, he makes it very clear like that's his character's motivation. Because in another article that we're not covering today, he also talks about how interesting and how unique it is for them to be jumping into the future instead of into the past. Because they have been jumping in the past, but pretty soon they're going to be jumping into the future, right? He says that's unique to Quantum Leap, but there's a reason for it. And he said after reading the script, he found out that the reason made a lot of sense. So I believe that Ernie Hudson knows what's going to happen. I think he's dropping some hints, in a very sly actor kind of way, in my opinion.
I mean, it's possible that he is, but he's one of the only people who've come on record multiple times talking about they really want Scott Bakula on the show. I don't know what's going to happen. Scott he took blame for not being on the show in his Instagram post. It's weird because I don't feel like we've really gotten an answer. I don't know if he doesn't want to do it now because Dean Stockwell's gone. I don't know if he doesn't want to do it because NBC's not giving him enough money, not giving him a big enough role. But if he doesn't come back in some shape or form, there's going to have to be an accounting for. Someone's going to have to explain why he's not part of the show. And either NBC is going to have to own the fact that they didn't want to pay him hopefully what he's worth. He doesn't seem like an overly, a guy who needs a whole lot. I think if they would have just paid him fairly, it seems like he would come back.
I think it's also about his legacy, though. He doesn't want to be like it's a cameo.
And nor should he be a cameo, and nor do I believe Martin Givo or Ernie Hudson has indicated that he would be. I don't know if he needs to be the center of a piece. Obviously, when he did Chuck, he wasn't the center of the story. And this is an opportunity for him to come back. Listen, Scott Bakula, you need to come back to Quantum Leap 2022. I fear that the story will fall flat if we don't get Dr. Beckett at some point.
So on the note, let's speak about Chuck real quick because he wasn't just a cameo in Chuck. So he showed up for a bit role at the end of one season, but then he was a massive part of the following two seasons. So, it might be, consider this for a minute. It's unheard of for a show mid-season to then add episodes to a season. That's unheard of. That doesn't happen. And they added 6 more episodes. They extended 6 episodes of the season mid-season. Not like we're going to get those 6 episodes at some point in the future. No, it's part of this season. So what if this? What if they pulled a Danny DeVito a la Always Sunny? Remember when Always Sunny in Philadelphia came out? They only got the second season because they signed on Danny DeVito. And Danny DeVito would only come on if he got a second season, so he wasn't wasting his time. One reason that show was, I would say the reason that show was even given the opportunity to be successful was because when they got Danny DeVito, who had the star power, and he demanded the second season, the network gave it to him being who he is, and that's what gave him the legs they needed to build the runway for 24 seasons, right?
Right.
So what about
24 episodes?
I'm sorry. You're right. I apologize. 15 seasons. Still a lot.
Oh, that's still a lot. Yeah.
A lot of them go 15. I don't know why I was thinking of something else. But 15 seasons, 150 plus episodes or whatever. That was the legs they needed. So what about this? What if Bakula's like, look, bottom line is I'll come back, but I don't want to just be a cameo that you write off in the show as we found Sam, now we can move on. So what if they go, okay, well, you know what? Let's give it a second season. Let's add 6 episodes of this. Let's finish. Let's get you in the show, and we'll make season 2 about the return of Sam and all that entails. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time.
I want what you just said to be the right thing. Like, ideally, that's what I want to have happened. Although there is another possibility. The possibility is that the original 12 seasons of Quantum Leap didn't have a conclusion to the story, and NBC didn't want to commit to a second season, so they gave him 6 more episodes to close it out, just in case they didn't want to give him a second season. So I like your idea. I want it to be your idea, but there is another plausible theory, because the way the streaming is happening right now is, nothing's safe.
Right, except for this is on stream, but it's primarily on network.
Right, but I would not be surprised if it moved. You know what I'm saying? This
is why this is so odd, because sometimes odd things happen in the streaming world where there's no rules. Right. But it's so rare for the structure of a season of a show to change I can't even remember a time actually where they added 6 episodes to a season's run that was also airing in primetime television on Monday nights.
No, it's true. Yeah. If they weren't having a break, I think that they wouldn't have done it. So here's what I think is going on. I definitely think, I'm praying that they're just keeping it really quiet and that they finally worked out something with Scott. Because if you go back to his Instagram post, his words were, when they talked about him, he never thought he would do Quantum Leap without him. And he said, I guess we're going to find out. You don't use the word guess. I guess we're going to find out. If you had some control over that, like if you know what I'm saying? The word, I guess we're going to find out, means like, that's not necessarily what I wanted to have happen. So I guess we're going to find out.
It sounded almost passive aggressive. Like, I guess we're going to find out.
Right. I guess we're going to find out.
What they can do without Sam Beckett.
Which means, because he did wish him all the best, but it sounds like something NBC didn't want to give him something. NBC wanted him on the show. We know that for certain. They wanted him to do the show, but whatever they wanted him to do wasn't enough. So hopefully they've reconciled it, and these extra 6 episodes were a way to squeeze him into the final half of the first season. And I'm really hoping that's the case.
Yeah, I hope that's the case. And I'm going to go with, because I keep on hoping, like you said, keep on hoping. I'm going to say, right? And you guys heard it here first. Here's my definitive theory. Scott Bakula. They reached out to him after the success of the show because it was going well. And they go, hey, Scott, listen, we had this idea of sort of like ending your character in a quiet way, but we're thinking of something new. And we know you didn't want to be on the show as a quick cameo, but let's say this. Let's add 6 episodes this season. Let's introduce your storyline and make the second season all about you and the new project.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah.
And you know what Scott says? Where's the money? All right.
Yeah. It's either money or the size of the role. I think it's one of those two things.
Quick thing. Jack O'Neill said, "Hey Jack, that's 2 L's. Scott Bakula has absolutely got to make an appearance in the show. It's not the same without him. Here's for hoping that the executives change their act." And a super chat from Hiroshi the dog. Hiroshi loves you. I love you, man. We absolutely must have Captain 7 become the successor of Kirk and Picard, leading to a younger crew of the future TNG. It has to be. I
just want to say hashtag Cherry Trek.
Yeah.
What's an answer to that?
What you said right there, here's the answer. Ready? Hashtag Cherry Twek. Hashtag Cherry Twek. Terry Twek.
Terry Twek.
Hashtag Terry Trek.
There you go.
Yes.
Excellent answer. Excellent answer for that.
Yes. Thank you for the $10. Is that $10? 10 pounds?
That is 10 pounds, which is more than $1, or it's 10 euros.
Is it? Is it 10 euros? I don't know. But thank you. Regardless, I appreciate that.
Doesn't matter how much it is. We appreciate you.
Hiroshi is also a member. And if you're not a member, you should consider being a member because we're going to be going there shortly. We have one more story to tell here, one more topic to discuss, and then we're going to be heading to the members section where the real fun happens. Oh, yeah. And if you missed the members section with Robert Meyer Burnett, oh, man. Someone here that's a member, just give a review of what happened when Robert Meyer Burnett showed up for that.
Not too much.
Not too much, though. Because I'm pretty
sure. You got to go see it.
Yeah, you got to go see it. It was It was crazy.